Welcome, educators, to our Second Step Q&A, the Facebook Live event where we answer all things Second Step. I'm Ewan McLean, a client support representative here at Second Step, and I'm joined today by Zach Trail, our client success manager and implementation expert. We're excited to introduce new updates to our Second Step programs, which were based on feedback from thousands of educators and students across the United States. Here's the rundown of today's meeting. First, I'll give you a quick tour of all the improvements to our K-8 programs and spotlight our new high school program. Zach will then take over and tackle the top questions we get from teachers and administrators. After that, we'll open it up to today's questions. Our goal is that each of you will leave this meeting more informed and inspired. We know that streamlined implementation is the key to successful outcomes with Second Step programs, and we want to help you kick off a great year. So, let's jump in. First of all, a reminder that our Second Step digital programs are reset and updated annually. Class, training, and reporting data are cleared, so educators experience a refreshed dashboard and reporting for the new school year. We also use this opportunity to release important program updates. This year's program reset happened on June 28th. With this reset, and some of the earlier updates, we have rolled out improvements for user experiences across the board, school and district leaders, students, teachers, and families. Today, I will provide a brief summary of the new changes. I'm happy to announce that Second Step Middle School has gotten a significant update. We added a brand new unit on developing a positive sense of self. Students will gain a better understanding of themselves, recognize their strengths, and identify areas for growth and development. This focus on intrapersonal skills is important because research has shown that teaching intrapersonal skills before interpersonal skills will strengthen prevention. If you've seen the new Pixar movie Inside Out 2, you would know that developing a sense of self is a fundamental developmental task during middle school. I would like to claim that Pixar made the movie specifically to promote our new unit, but to be honest, the timing is purely coincidence. I guess great minds think alike. The Recognizing Bullying and Harassment unit, which used to be Unit 2, is now an optional unit to support varying requirements of schools and districts. Leaders can choose to include it at no additional cost. This option will be available on the Leader dashboard starting in August. Based on student feedback, we implemented numerous other improvements to make the middle school program more relevant, engaging, and appropriately complex for the age group. While we focus mainly on middle school this year, we did make some exciting changes for the Second Step Elementary digital program as well. We updated media elements to increase lesson clarity and added 3 new short videos. For district and school leaders, the first thing we introduced was expanded progress reporting. Monitoring usage data is a best practice for the success of your programming. Our research found that lesson completion was almost 20 percentage points higher among schools that use data to monitor progress. We have substantially strengthened the Second Step Leader dashboard, which offers 2 different views. You can use the Launch view to quickly understand initial indicators of success, and the Monitor view to track lesson completion throughout the year, by grade level and by unit. Both views are tailored for either single-site or multi-site scenario. If you're a district leader, you can view comprehensive program usage information across all your schools. There are also guidelines that provide concrete action steps to support progress. We made key implementation tasks and resources more obvious and accessible to leaders. The Streamlined Implementation Guide provides quick access to key implementation tools, including the updated Second Step Playbook. In addition, our implementation webinars can be easily found on the Leader dashboard and the My Programs page. In another significant development, we have partnered with Aperture to introduce DESA-based assessments that are fully aligned with Second Step Elementary and Second Step Middle School programs. If you have any questions about these options, please don't hesitate to contact us. For teachers, we made research references easier to access during lesson prep. Also, with the new Second Step Middle School Unit 2, we designed a streamlined approach that minimizes lesson prep. We would love to know what you think of it. Phew! That was a lot of updates, wasn't it? We are committed to quality and integrity in our continuous improvement, and a big part of that depends on input from users like you. So please, keep sending us your feedback. Before we start the Q&A, I just have one more thing to say, and that is, Second Step High School. We are all so excited about this new program. It is flexible, relevant, engaging, and like all our programs, it's based on the latest research. I could talk about it for a whole hour, but for today, I will just share a short video that explains what this program is designed to do.
I am a high school educator because I want to help students grow to their fullest potential.
I want to help students discover what success looks like for them and help them build the confidence to get there.
I want to help them connect.
It's far from easy, but I didn't become an educator because I thought it would be easy.
Second Step High School empowers all of my students with the social emotional skills that they need to become the people they want to become, in and out of the classroom, today and in the future, long after they leave these halls.
That's better than easy.
Create a culture where
Everyone is most likely to succeed.
If you want to know more about Second Step High School, check out our website and schedule a free consultation with us today. We would love to talk to you. And now, please welcome Zach Trail, our Client Success Manager and Implementation Expert, who will answer all your questions.
All right, I'm going to take a look and see what questions we have here today. It looks like our first question comes from Jessica, and it's a great question, Jessica. Will there be any update information for your early learning program for PreK? That is an excellent question. Our early learning program was not updated this summer. If you have those physical kits and digital resources in use in your classroom right now, then you have everything that you need to implement that program. There weren't any additional updates made this summer, but we would still love to support you in your use of that program. So you should feel free to reach out to our support team, like Ewan said, at support@secondstep.org with any questions that you have around use of that product, or with any feedback that you have around the program for future updates. We would love to get your feedback on how the program is working in your classroom. All right. Next question here. Somebody wants to know, so they wrote that they know about the digital program updates that Ewan shared for our elementary and middle school digital program, but they are wanting to know if the pacing guide resource in the Second Step program will be updated as well. And I can confirm that it is already updated with that brand new Unit 2 for middle school. So you will have all the information that you need within that document to go ahead to your leader dashboard, download that updated pacing guide, and start planning for your updated school year. I think we have another question here about the pacing guide as well. Let me look here. Somebody asking where on secondstep.org can they find that pacing guide template. That is going to be in your leader dashboard that you can access if you are an administrator on your Second Step digital license. So if you have administrator admissions or permissions on your license, then you can go ahead and log into your leader dashboard and head to that updated implementation guide that Ewan mentioned. It'll be in the top left-hand corner of your screen on your leader dashboard, under where it says implementation supports. So you can click on that button, head into your implementation guide, and then scroll down to the section that says year-round supports, and that pacing guide document will be located there for you to download and edit or customize in any way that you need to fit your school or your district's implementation. That guide can be downloaded as a Google Sheet or as an Excel doc, and you can update it with the dates of your school year and customize it in whatever way you need to fit your style of implementation. So, all right, next questions here. Simple question, somebody says, but what do you suggest that teachers call their classes within the Second Step digital program? That's a fantastic question too. There is a lot of room for customization of class naming, depending on what works for your school, your district. What we recommend is that you use a unified naming convention, whatever that may be or whatever works for your school, that will easily allow your administration to see which class belongs to which educator and which grade level. So something simple, typically like your last name and whatever grade level you're teaching would suffice, but you can customize however you want as long as you have that essential information in there that will help any administrators at your site know which class you're using in your implementation with your students. Another question here, let's see, where can I find the morning announcements for the elementary digital curriculum? That is a great question. So we do have scripted weekly morning announcements that correspond to the lessons in our K through 5 elementary digital program. Those are great for administrators or any other SEL leads at schools to read out every week in the morning or whatever time works for your site. Those are located in the program support section of the program. So you can log into your class that you have open, click on that program supports button at the top of your screen, and then head to the section where it says school-wide supports, and you'll find those scripted morning announcements there. Administrators can also access those scripted morning announcements in their leader dashboard in the implementation guide that I mentioned before. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of that guide, under where it says monitor and support, you'll see a section that's called supporting all staff, and the morning announcements are included in there as well. All right, a couple more questions here it looks like. Is there a pre and post test for the digital version for all units? So the digital program, I know there's a summative assessment for your older physical kits, but I'm looking for the same for the skills of the digital platform. That's a fantastic question about assessment. As Ewan mentioned, we do have our brand new partnership with Aperture to launch DESA assessments that are specific to second step digital programs. But also, if you use the program, you will remember that there are unit by unit assessments at the end of each unit in the digital program that we call performance tasks. These assessments take the same time to teach as a regular lesson. They are the last lesson of every unit, and a rubric for the assessment is included in them. And they are great for helping teachers assess student attainment of the skills and goals of each unit, as well as looking to see if they need to reteach any lessons or content from the unit before they move on to anything else. The program also includes in the implementation guide and leader dashboard an evaluation guide that contains some suggestions on how you can build out a wider school-wide assessment system for how social emotional learning is working at your site. So that's a very valuable document to look into as well. All right. Gonna keep looking here at what folks are putting in. Will you be sending out an email to Second Step subscribers of what new printouts we'll need? We need to update our binders so teachers can read through the scripts. Thank you. That's fantastic. I love the hands-on quality of putting binders together for teachers. I'm sure that teachers at your site really appreciate that support that you're giving them. If you are looking to see which lesson scripts and presentations have been updated specifically in the elementary school program, as well as the middle school program, but I know Ewan mentioned a couple video updates that we made in the elementary program and some graphics improvements. You can go to the program supports section of your dashboard. So right when you open your class, up at the top of the screen, you'll head into that section and there will be a subsection called program updates that you can click into, and it will tell you the specific lessons that have been updated, so you'll know which scripts you need to download and replace in your binders for any updated language that accompanies those presentation changes. For the middle school lessons, it's really cool as well. I know Ewan mentioned that we're making some updates to facilitation for those lessons. Our new Unit 2 in middle school actually does not feature lesson plans. Its new updated instructional facilitation design is geared towards solely facilitating those lessons with the lesson presentations and not needing a separate lesson plan to have to facilitate those lessons. So you actually don't need to worry about those documents for that unit. And last year, we updated the rest of the middle school presentations to be optionally facilitated with or without the lesson plan. So you can still use those lesson plans as a support in middle school for your teacher's facilitation, if your teachers like those or if they're useful to facilitation. But just know that for the entire middle school program, including that new Unit 2, they are just an optional support, and teachers are able to facilitate those lessons just using the presentations. They'll have everything they need within those slides. All right. Let's see here. It looks like we have one more question here. And it is a great question about implementation and building culture within schools. How can schools foster a positive purpose and a mindset of contribution in their students? I love that question. I love that you're thinking proactively about building culture and climate with your students, even outside of second step lessons. I think the first thing I would suggest to accomplish building that positive purpose and growth mindset in students is to really reinforce second step language and skills outside of when you're teaching those weekly lessons during the day, particularly language from the first unit of elementary school and middle school digital, which focuses on growth mindset and goal setting. That language is so important in letting kids know that they can work hard and improve, that failure is something that they can learn from, that they have the power to be autonomous and have ownership over their learning, and to set reasonable and actionable goals for their work and their lives inside and outside of school. And using that language outside of when you teach the weekly lessons, really making it a cornerstone of your classroom culture, is really going to help students improve and build that growth mindset and apply it to their academic work outside of any social emotional instruction that you do in your class. I also would try to make second step lessons and lessons in general in your classroom as student discussion and partnership oriented as possible. Really let students discuss their own feelings about the topics at hand, encourage their discussion with other students. Of course, the second step program builds a lot of opportunity for that discussion in, but take that cue and build it into your lessons outside of second step as well. And then last but not least, it is always great for students to know exactly why they're learning what they're learning. So whatever social emotional skill building or instruction you do in your classroom, any classroom management techniques that you use to build student choice or ownership over their learning, specifically name for your students, I'm doing this for you in the moment, and this is why. These are the skills that I want you to build out of this. This is the opportunity for your learning that I want you to have in this classroom, and that I want you to collaborate on with your peers. A strategy is very powerful, but it's even more powerful when students know exactly why they're receiving the instruction that they're receiving and what skills you're hoping that they build from that type of instruction. So yeah, I would build in all of those opportunities into your classroom culture. And if you need any more suggestions on classroom management or how to build social emotional learning into your instruction outside of weekly second step lessons, you can head once again to the program support section of your dashboard, and under where it says classroom supports, then you will be able to find classroom management strategies, strategies for assessment for SEL, and how to use those performance tasks. Those will be really helpful in building that culture as well. All right. That sounds good. I think that's all the questions that we have here. And I really appreciate those questions. They're all very thoughtful. It was great to answer them with you today, and I'll turn it back to you now, Ewan.
Thank you, Zach. And thank you for joining us today. It's always great to chat with you all. If you have any further questions or feedback, please don't hesitate to contact us. Our support email is support@cfchildren.org, and our phone number is 800-634-4449 extension 1. We're here to help you in whatever way we can. We hope you found today's event to be helpful. Thank you for being part of the Second Step Educator Community Group. Enjoy the rest of your day, have a great rest of your summer, and have a great school year.